question. I just wonder, what are your qualifications?
Well, we haven't just started on this proposal yesterday, and matter of fact, we've been at it for months, and we have no experience of running an animal shelter, if that answers your questions.
Other than your personal experience, Johnny has had a lot more to deal with than I have. I have my own pets. I've dealt with cows and horses over the years, as far as I know how to take care of them. But Johnny has sheltered numerous animals himself at his own expense over the years.
And
so.
I know it ain't going to be easy. I know we're going to need help, as in Sandy's need help.
I'm sorry, did you have a plan in place as to where and what you were going to do with the animals that you all did take in on this end? You know, when you have a dog that, you know, you've got for a stray and you have for 2 months, what are you going to do with that dog? You know, what are you all going to have it put down? You're going to keep it till it finds a home? I mean, these are all
that's a
important
good
things.
question, because we are not going to run a no-kill shelter. We can't afford to. I don't think this county can afford to run a no-kill shelter. I'm very sorry to have to be the one to say that. But we'll go by the guidelines and the laws provided by the state, and putting an animal down and how long you got to keep it.
And maybe if we're all going to work together on this, we could get some input from you guys. I mean,
well,
we're subject to that.
Not trying to take over this at all, but I want to make sure that I get my point across that I very strongly disagree with that. Because when Sandy first started, she was killing 90 to 95% of her animals without adoptions, without rescues. She was using gas chambers. Me and her actually met by accident, kind of, and since then we have had 90 to 95% adoption rate and rescues, and very extremely seldom has there been a dog put down nor a cat. So it can be done if everybody would work together and choose to implement their own free will of trying to tend to this, instead of just going by, you know, saying, oh, well, this is what the law says, so let's give them 5 days and say be done with it. You know, it really takes heart and dedication.
That issue's probably been on a lot of tables, and like I say, I hate to be the one to stand here and say that this county cannot afford a no-kill shelter. I'm happy that Sandy can, but are we in this situation because of a no-kill shelter? That's one of the reasons. You've got to admit, we're in this situation where Sandy ain't got no room to house animals, because she's had animals for how long at a time?
Well, usually a month or so at a time. I mean,
well, then make it a month, and if we can't get rid of them.
Most of them are medical, you know, reasons. I mean, I've got actually the blue tick that I've got the tubes in. He's got a home, but he has to be able to pass a health, you know, a health certificate check, you know, before he can go to his home.
And hopefully with a lot of people's help at the community, I mean, we can find homes for them. We have a pet shop in our building, which we took in 4 kittens yesterday. We provide a lot of outlets through that pet shop.
Well, what are you doing with your kittens?
So what you're saying is that you're going to make a profit from the animals that come into your shelter. If you take an animal that's come into your shelter and then you put it in your pet shop, you yourself are making a profit.
Negative.
No.
I want to interrupt for a minute. And of course, there's no doubt, there's no question that after nearly 14 years in operation, that as an animal control officer, that Ms. Mallow has the most experience in dealing with the animal control officer problem in Pocahontas County. My expectation would be that any additional animal control officers, if it would be you guys or someone else, that you certainly would have to work together. And there's a lot to learn. If anyone enters into this position brand new, you would be able to look to Sandy's experience for help and guidance on these issues. So I would fully expect the animal control officers to work together on this problem. Even though maybe there's some disagreements on the initial outset, there needs to be a team approach to solving the animal control problem.
Well, it looks to me that if we take the emotion out of it, which I think we need to do right now, I think we need to take the emotion out of it. Because when you start talking about pet shops and euthanasia and blah, 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 you get people pretty freaked out. You have someone who's been doing this job for 14 years. And we're running into a situation where there's a problem. You also have the sheriff who has constitutional responsibility for the humane officer part. To me, it just free advice. Those two people are going to have to be your lead people on this, as far as I would see it. And then you're going to have to get and you could listen to us because we have however many years, I don't even know, we've probably been around for 13 years and we've done a lot of the same kinds of things that Sandy is doing, and we've done a lot of rescue and a lot of placement. But if you would just make sure that your two lead people, your constitutional people, the person you've hired to be your animal control and the person who's your humane officer, it seems like they have to be the ones that say, this is how many people we need, blah, 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 to fix this problem to you. And with all due respect, this is maybe a great idea, but these guys would have to approve it, and they would have to be the ones that would supervise any staff that they would have at any other facility, I would think. Because you can't, I mean, otherwise it'd be chaos.
This comes back to process.
May I ask
I'd like to
a
clarify.
couple of questions?
Please.
Are there records available, written records available of what you've done that we can look at?
They're filed here at the commission I file everything here at the commission. I have a report that I
Here's a
do.
monthly report, for example, which is very impressive.
How often are those?
They're submitted in once a month.
There's once a month.
This one goes from July 20th to August 13th, for example, so slightly less than a month. And there are, each row is an animal control situation.
May I borrow that for a moment?
Please.
I'd like to state that I feel that there's mixed feelings here.
Well, I would like to clarify the question this lady asked over here about us making this big profit off of these kittens. We sublease to the pet shop.
No, I did not say that you were making a big profit off the kittens. I
Any
said-
profit. We're
I said
making
if you
zero
took an
profit off
animal,
of a kitten.
county animal into your facility.
The only profit
and
we're
then put
making
it
off of
into
this
a
pet shop,
you
we
would be making a
sublease to
profit.
them. It's run by a separate individual, and they're just trying to find a home for these cats that were dumped out.
And they're not selling.
But
They're
were
doing their own
they
humane
spayed
thing
and
at that.
neutered before they were adopted out, because that's